Elsie, will you let me know when everyone is back?
Yeah, I believe we had 41.
Yeah. Oh, it looks like a room just came back.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I think we're about there.
Awesome. And Alicia, Alicia and Emmett, are you with us?
Hey there, this is Alicia. Emmett actually is unfortunately unexpectedly out today, so it'll just be me.
Okay, no problem. Well, let's see. It looks like we got everyone. So, Alicia from the Q Corner is up next to present about their programs. I think you're made co-host, so you should be able to screen share.
Yes. Great. I'm going to attempt that. Wish me luck.
Good luck.
Okay, does everyone see the PowerPoint?
Yep, you're
Great.
good.
Awesome. So real quick, I'll just introduce myself. It's great to be here. My name is Alicia Anderson. My pronouns are she, her, and hers. I am with our County Behavioral Health Services Department, and I do oversee various programs in my normal life. But fun fact that probably is relevant to you all is that I have since last April been deployed, is what we, I guess, call it, in the county with the Office of Supportive Housing, overseeing the implementation of our the vulnerable hotels that we created when COVID started to provide a safe place for folks who are highly vulnerable and experiencing homelessness during COVID to have a place to shelter in place and not get COVID. So if folks ever have questions about that program, because you might have clients who are participating in it or have heard about it, you're welcome to ask me. So that is just sort of completely separate from the Q Corner, but sort of coincidentally also probably relevant. So back to the Q Corner. So a little history is several years ago, and really for many years now, our county, our public health department, other entities in our county, conducted a lot of community input research to identify where gaps are, especially when it comes to supporting LGBTQ folks in our community. And while we do have some really great services in place, the majority really are for youth. So folks that are between the ages of like 13 to 25 or so. And then we have, of course, we have like the DeFrank Center and some other great places that really focus on like peer groups and things like that. But when it comes to folks in the community getting access to affirming and welcoming behavioral health services, even housing, housing support, there's lots of gaps. And so several years ago, the former supervisor, Ken Yeager, who was a huge advocate for LGBTQ folks in our community, had said, we need to do more around health and wellness for LGBTQ folks. I want really what he hoped to be a wellness center. And I think there's still dreams of that one day, but obviously with COVID, a lot has shifted. Not only the fact that so much doesn't happen in person right now, but also, as I'm sure everyone knows, funding is, a bit more tight and is going to be a bit more tight. So all that being said, what we brought together over the last year was something that we named the Q Corner. It's a group of staff that were hired specifically to work in this program and address some of the gaps in services that I referenced. So that's a little bit of the background, and we'll kind of get into it. So this is really about helping LGBTQ folks in Santa Clara County to get connected to services that are of interest to them, that are welcoming and affirming. That is often one of the challenges, like, for example, like in the housing and homeless service delivery system that many of you work in. We know that there are shelters and there are outreach teams, but are they, you know, welcoming and affirming for LGBTQ folks? Or specifically, often, you know, we have to kind of recognize, right, the umbrella term LGBTQ really is, there's so many diverse identities represented within that umbrella term. You know, LGB is all about sexual orientation, right? You know, who folks are drawn to, attracted to, etc. And the T stands for transgender, which in itself is an umbrella term, right? Trans could include folks that identify as non-binary or gender expansive. You know, it really has sort of evolved into being a more sort of expansive term. And folks who identify as trans or non-binary, et cetera, often have far more barriers, systemic barriers, and you know, discrimination really in accessing services. When you think about how many programs are gendered, right? Oh, this is our men's program, or this is our women's program, or you know, we serve families, and it's, you know, women with kids, or whatever, right? So if you think about folks that identify outside of sort of like binary cis male, cis female identities, you know, there's a lot of barriers. So super relevant, I think, to, you know, what we're all working on here. And so with that being said, really the goal of the Q Corner is to help folks navigate what's out there and find the services that are appropriate for them. Exciting news that, it's not really news, I don't mean that, but exciting for everyone is that probably most of you know that, you know, a few years ago, New Haven Inn was opened in huge collaboration with the Office of LGBTQ Affairs and the Office of Supportive Housing to be really, you know, focus on being a safe and welcoming and affirming place for LGBTQ folks experiencing homelessness. And we know, you know, from our work in the community that folks like really appreciate it. And it's always where, like, when folks contact us, that's where we refer folks, and it's where they want to go. So it just shows that, and you know, a place that is intentional about being welcoming and affirming really makes a huge difference. So, you know, another, I think, great example of a resource that we often collaborate with, but also do a lot to make sure folks know about and get connected to, is the Gender Health Center that opened just a few years ago. And surprisingly, a large number of folks in the community and even providers, you know, haven't heard of it. And the Gender Health Center is really open to anyone, but again, it really is focused on being a place that provides gender affirming health services. And when they say health, they're really, it's a comprehensive model of health. So health services for folks who identify as trans, non-binary, gender expansive. So they have psychiatry, they have primary care, they have OBGYN stuff, they have a social worker, they have pediatrics. So just like a huge range of services, and really great for you all to know, should you have folks that are looking for affirming gender health services. It's such a great resource, and it's just part of the, you know, overall county healthcare delivery system. So, you know, we have the hospitals, right, VMC, and now O'Connor and St. Louis, and then there's about like 10 community clinics that are all part of the Valley Health System. And so the Gender Health Center is right there downtown on East Santa Clara, part of the downtown clinic. Folks can call and make an appointment. Happy to share information about that. I talk about them because they're sort of like unofficially, we consider ourselves all one big team. So back to the Q Corner, that's really like the biggest priority for us, is being like peer support and navigation services for folks to navigate resources. Consider us, you know, your go-to if you have questions about resources for folks, or if you have clients that, you know, you might be helping them with, you know, X, Y, and Z, but maybe you don't you don't really consider yourself an expert on legal resources for trans folks that are looking to like get their name name change, their gender marker change, etc. You can absolutely contact us. We'd be happy to walk alongside and support someone. Sometimes we'll do some of the same services that you might like. We might do a VI SPDAT for someone, etc. So yeah. So right now with COVID, we do continue to really maintain the majority, if not all of our services virtually. So and at the end of this slide, there's all the contact information. So, and I believe Alexis, you'll send the slide deck out. It's super short, it's like 5 pages. So don't worry, I'm not gonna talk this long on every page. We do have a great office space set up. You'll see like the photo on this PowerPoint is one of like the beginning of one of the walls we have. I mean, we're super excited to get this really incredible, warm, welcoming space set up that we intended to have drop-in hours and all this great stuff. And we were set to open last March, so go figure. But it remains a great office space for our team, so that's cool at least. But services with community members are really mostly through phone, video meetings, etc. Folks email us to contact us, etc. But the office address is listed, so hopefully in the future, you all can come visit us. We will have a big open house. So there's really 3 components. One is those direct services we were talking about, peer support, navigating resources, and then direct referrals to get connected places. Again, like we refer people to New Haven, and like we'll do the referral form, etc. That's just one example. I know that you all probably know about that resource a lot, but there's probably a lot of other resources that might not be as well known in the community. So we're happy to help folks get connected to those. That's another vantage point in our office space. We have like tables set up with resources. Again, we were super excited for folks to be able to come and drop in and peruse resources in the space. But for now, it's all we send text or email. So the second big component of the Q Corner is really about building community. And so, especially with the loss of physical spaces, it's hard, right? It's hard for everyone. I'm sure most folks on this meeting have in some way experienced, some challenges with that, but especially for LGBTQ folks where there were so many limited safe spaces to begin with. And in addition to that, often where folks might be living, and so now sheltering in place, might not be that great of a location. It might not be that safe. It might not be that welcoming. You all probably already know that LGBTQ youth represent a huge chunk of the youth homeless population in, really nationally, but we know in our community as well, which is why there are programs like the Wilson Center and, the LGBTQ youth space, and the Department of Family and Children Services has, like the Youth Acceptance Project and other programs that are specifically working with youth, because we know that because of family rejection and other components related to like non-acceptance, youth often experience homelessness, are part of the juvenile justice system, are in the child welfare system, etc. So with all that being said, building community and folks having a place to connect with one another is so important. So we do that in sort of 3 ways. If you look at the second bullet first, we have weekly support groups for folks that are trans, non-binary, gender expansive. You are welcome to tell any and everyone about these. It really came from the Gender Health Center identifying this need, and then us partnering with a group called LGBTQ Wellness, which is out of Kaminar Family Children Services, to do these weekly groups. And they are online, but they're video, so they've been going really well. Additionally, we do loads of fun community building events. So we did, like, for Halloween, we did something called Trivia or Treat. It was like a LGBTQ trivia night. We did something for Pride called the Hype Fest, where agencies throughout the whole Santa Clara County created different like art, representations of different trailblazers and heroes within the LGBTQ community over time. And we all kind of like celebrated that. And we, one thing too, it's sort of, I would say somewhat connected to this, but actually somewhat connected to the previous slide is we are happy to provide physical resources for folks too. So like visual cues that kind of help your space look and feel welcoming. So we have like loads of different rainbow placards, not just the rainbow pride flag, but the trans flag and the pan flag and the bi flag. We have loads of like stickers and tons of just like different materials that we're happy to help folks get access to so that you can have them in your space. And so we've done like resource pickup events where like, folks can kind of order online and then kind of, indicate what they need and how much, and then, folks kind of like have like a contactless pickup experience at our offices. And then lastly, starting this year, we're excited, we're going to be doing something called Q Corner Chats. And it's, just like once a month, maybe once every other month, these like hour-long info sessions that will focus on specific topics. So our first one's coming up in just a couple weeks. We'd be super excited to have any of you join us. It will be hosted by a really great nonprofit called Oasis Legal Services. They specifically work with LGBTQ folks who are seeking asylum in the United States or are in some other way, experiencing like immigration-related concerns. And so they are experts in the field and they're local and work with folks in our community. So they'll be talking all about that. We would love to have you. And last but not least, really the third prong of our services are trainings. Many of you might have gotten information on one or some of these, but we have a huge menu at this point of trainings. I'm not going to go into all of these. This is really just an overview for you to see some of the core areas, but we have, and I think Alexis, you said that you would send out some attachments right after the meeting.
Yes, I will.
Great. So we have a really great flyer that has, it's really just like, I say double-sided as if like people are going to get it in print, but it's basically like a 2-pager that kind of fleshes out each of these trainings a little bit more and also indicates how you can sign up, who's eligible. I mean, really, folks in Santa Clara County should be able to take most of these. Just some are maybe more focused on folks that are doing clinical work or folks that are doing like peer support work or folks that are looking to become a trainer, et cetera. So this is a huge piece of it because really, ultimately, as great as it is to have New Haven Inn and the Gender Health Center and places that are specifically created to be welcoming and safe and culturally, I hate the word competent, but you know what I mean? They shouldn't be the only place that folks can feel comfortable going, right? So our goal is to build capacity throughout the whole system so that all places, are affirming and welcoming and knowledgeable about supporting LGBTQ folks. And so with that being said, here is the contact information I had referenced. This is a little image of our flyer. We have like a larger version and a little postcard version. For those of you that do provide services in person, happy to give you print versions of it. Like I said, the postcard version is great for, folks just kind of be able to easily take with them, but we'll also send soft copies out. Best way to contact is the email and the phone number, which fortunately are, still the same on the flyer. The only piece that's not so relevant on the flyer is, the fact that services are not currently offered at that location. So, and we're really into our social media because we just got, I don't know if anyone else on the call works for the county, but bureaucracy is a thing. And so it was a huge deal to get approved to have social media. And we just did maybe in like October. So we would love to have you as a follower. We almost have 1,000 followers on Instagram, so we're very proud of that. We consider that really the best way to stay up to date with new events that are happening, new resources, etc. And you're welcome to visit the website as well. And I will end there. I don't know if there's any questions, or folks can always just email me after the fact with questions, because I know you have other presentations too.
Yeah, we'll wait a couple seconds, see if anyone pops a question in the chat box or unmutes themselves to ask. Otherwise, we can move on and then they can reach out to you later for questions. So give it just a second. No questions? Oh, okay. So we will go into our next presentation then. Let's see. Perfect. We have Job Train up next, and that would be Lillian presenting. Lillian, are you ready?
Good morning. Yes, I'm ready.
Good morning. Awesome. Okay. Well, take it away. You should be able to, yes, you're co-host now. You should be able to screen share.
Okay, great. Thank you. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes,
Okay.
you're all set.
So good morning, everyone. I'm Lilian Castellanos from Job Train. I'm the outreach coordinator. So Job Train is a center for economic mobility. And so I'm going to explain a little bit what that's about. So just a little brief history. Job Train's been around for 56 years. During the civil rights movement, there's a lot going on, and the Bay Area kind of participated in that. And that was in 1964, the first OICW was opened in Philadelphia, and Father John Sweeney here from East Palo Alto learned about it. And so what he decided to do was somewhat replicate the same thing, except that in 1965, he called it the OICW, which stands for the West. And so literally the first OICW was down the street from where our current location is right now. And so that was a great opportunity to give back to the community training programs that would allow them to, launch a career path. In 2007, the name was changed to Job Train. And so therefore, for 56 years, we have been helping thousands of community members to develop work skills and just gain employment. Job Train is accredited, so we are accredited by the private post-secondary education institution, and we're here to help those that are most in need to be successful. We are about providing opportunity, motivation, full support in order to people help themselves. And we do believe that our community that is in need is about the hand up, not about the handout. And so we're really here to provide them with that career support. We are a nonprofit, and our we are funded through grants, fundraising, events, and donor support. And so therefore the cost of our trainings are not passed down onto the trainees. However, we do ask in return that the students provide us with, information about their performance here, completion rates, their job placement, and information about their retention. And this is the information that is provided to our funders in order to let them know, how the programs are benefiting the community. So as I said, our mission is to help those in need, and we're really here to help everybody motivate. And so I'm gonna start talking about our trainings. Just a little more background is in 2019, we served 294 people to completing their full career training. So it was 85% completion rate. And so therefore we were able to place 81% in a job. starting at the wage of $22 an hour. And after a year, they maintained their job placement. So it's pretty good. If JobTrain were to charge in comparison to other opportunities that are available out there, our training is still a little low. It is at $6,272, which is pretty good. However, to some people, that is a very high cost. And so therefore, as I said, JobTrain does not charge for the trainings that we offer. So we offer a variety of trainings that are in demand currently. And so we do offer trainings in the healthcare, which is CNA, medical assistant, IT, culinary, building maintenance, and construction. Our trainings are available to anyone here in the Bay Area, as long as you live in the San Mateo, Santa Clara, Alameda, Santa Cruz, San Francisco, Contra Costa County. So it's offered to those residents throughout the Bay Area. Our trainings are offered 4 times a year. They're 11 weeks short, and they're a combination of classroom and online setting due to what we're experiencing right now. Normally, we would be meeting in our facility. They are Monday through Friday from 8 to 3:15 with both AM and PM groups. The student must complete the entire cycle in order to receive their certificate of achievement. And then once they meet that goal, they'll be advised with they'll be paired up with their career advisor in order to find employment. Okay. So construction, it's a reflection of what's in need right now, which is housing. And so anyone who's looking to work with their hands, this is a great opportunity for them to really learn their, use their carpentry skills. They also will have the connection with the carpentry local Union 217 in order to be prepared for that, and they'll also obtain certifications. You are going to be building homes. You're not going to be doing kind of like the woodshop classroom, high school style. You are going to be creating, building homes, and so you are be doing, a lot of working together with your classmates as well as using the tools that are needed. Building maintenance is an opportunity for anyone, again, who's looking to work with their hands, but perhaps they're looking to just be an overall. So this is a great way for anyone who is looking to learn about how to run a building, or a residential apartment complex. You'll learn about basic plumbing, electricity, also basic carpentry as well. Okay. IT, well, it makes a lot of sense. We live in the Silicon Valley, so there's a lot of tech companies currently here. And so this is an opportunity for anyone to do to entry level into a career path where they'll learn about troubleshooting, customer service, Q&A, and then just learning about what it is to, the system administrative part. Culinary, so we are foodies here in the Bay Area. We love to eat, and so therefore here's an opportunity for anyone who's looking to be creative in the sense of, creating recipes and just delicious meals. And so we do offer this training for anyone who's looking to, learn how to do commercial prepping, reading recipes, creating your own, and then just learning your way around a professional kitchen. Okay. Healthcare, so this is a high demand, right? It's always looking for professionals, especially during these times. For medical assistant, this is an opportunity for anyone who's looking to be in a professional setting, but still be able to provide the assistance in the medical field. So it's usually the person that works either in the front or in the back end of the office. Depending on the office where they end up working or the facility, they may provide, some support to the doctor. The CNA is the certified nursing assistant. So that's really another hands-on, you're developing relationships with your patient. And so therefore it is a training where you're going to be providing, care for someone, making sure that they're taking their medications, they're dressed, maybe bathing them, as well as perhaps also making sure that, you move them around. So it is hands-on, but it's a great opportunity for anyone who's looking to be in the medical field. We do have very strong partnerships throughout the Bay Area, and so our partnerships are a variety of organizations who are in support of what JobTrain does and offers. And so therefore we have strong relationships with the San Mateo County Sheriff's Office Correction Work Furlough Program, also with Carpentry Union Local 17, also Stanford and Kaiser, as well as Facebook. And we do have a relationship with the San Mateo Credit Union. We have a career center in the East Palo Alto Amazon building, and that is for the East Palo Alto residents. We also have a new career center, which is in Santa Clara, and that is with partnership with San Jose Rapid Housing and Destination Homes, and as well as with the city of East Palo Alto. So JobTrain isn't just about trainings. We offer additional services that are available to the students. And so therefore our additional services are, anyone who's needing supportive services. So sometimes, life does show up and it could be a little challenging. So therefore, if anyone is needing assistance with supportive services, kind of like housing or legal advice or perhaps food, we can definitely provide them with that kind of resources. We do have a preschool on site, and normally it would be open for our students, and of course anyone who qualifies. Your child must be from the age of 3 to 5, fully immunizations up to date, and then of course potty trained. Normally, again, if our facility is opened, we have a partnership with EDD. So anyone needing that kind of assistance would be able to come to our office and get assistance through the EDD. As of right now, if anyone is needing that assistance, then they do come to our office. They will need to call the number. We also do provide support to our youth. So any youth between the age of 17 to 24 can get that kind of experience. And I'll go into more detail about that. We also have a partnership, like I mentioned earlier, with Stanford, and so therefore if anyone is needing wellness care, we can definitely provide them a referral, and we have counselors on site. We also have a partnership with 5 Keys Charter, and they help us assess GED. So perhaps anyone who's needing to fulfill that goal, definitely this is an opportunity for them to be able to do that. And like I mentioned, we have 3 resource centers. One of them is Menlo Park, which is our main office. And we have one in East Palo Alto in the Amazon building, and then also the new one in Santa Clara. We also have a partnership with Cañada College, and we are their satellite campus, so therefore they would be able to host classes here. We also offer online classes for ESL, beginners and intermediate, and they're in the evenings, and they're now virtual, as well as we have any digital literacy for both Spanish and English. So perhaps someone is not ready to start a new training, but they're looking to upgrade, this is an opportunity for them to do so. And then we also have a variety of workshops that they can be signed up online, from resume building, LinkedIn profile, how to interview now that things have gone virtual. So these are additional resources that are available to all community members. I mentioned our youth program. So we do have a youth program where we support 17 to 24-year-olds. They must reside in San Mateo County, Palo Alto, Mountain View, or Sunnyvale. And in order to qualify and be able to receive these additional career supports, they can contact myself or, of course, Peter Ibarra, and he could be reached at pibarra@jobtrainworks.org. I mentioned our career centers. So our career centers offer a variety of services. When our facility is open, they were able to have access to computers. We have a job board, information to additional trainings, career advising. We also, as I mentioned, we have virtual workshops. And then, of course, normally this would be open to the public. We hope to be able to open it soon, of course, and it would be by appointment only. Right now, some of those resources are available, and so therefore I do invite you to visit our website, which is jobtrainworks.org. We have a virtual job board where we cover all counties, and therefore it is updated twice a week, and we have employers who provide us with job postings, or anybody who's looking to hire our students, those jobs will be available. Also, we have additional resources that are available in order to anyone who's seeking that kind of assistance. So I do invite you to please visit our website. So what does it mean to be part of Job Train family? So we're about, building community, creating an opportunity for someone to be successful in a career path that they want to launch, especially during these times. We're looking to what it will be helpful and an investment for the future. Please note that our trainings are to no cost. And then we also provide the placement service. Many of our partners are currently usually available on site. We have a variety of power skill workshops that we can present either to your clients directly, and that's definitely something we can talk about, or they can go and sign up online through our website. And also during the training, the students do have an opportunity to become well-rounded, and so therefore they will also have a chance to do these workshops as well, to making sure that they have goal setting skills, anger management, communication. And also they become part of the Job Train Alumni Association, and so that gives them perks to an opportunity to be in touch with us about how Job Train is growing, also employer presentations, and then they also get invited to our special events such as Breakfast of Champions. So it's just a variety of opportunities. So it's a really great chance for anyone to continue with their network. Please follow us on social media. It is an absolutely must in order to really keep up with what Job Train's offering. In addition to that, it's just a great way to learn about any resources that may be available, employers perhaps seeking, to fill specific positions if your clients are looking for that kind of resources. And so Job Train really does believe that everyone deserves the dignity of work and the opportunity to earn a living wage and advance in their careers, especially during these times when we're planning for that new transition of what is to come in the future. And so this is what Job Train has to offer. And here's my contact information. Again, my name is Lily M. Castellanos. I'm the outreach coordinator. And thank you so much for your time. Please feel free to either email me. I'm currently not in the office, but please, you can call my cell phone. I'm happy to set up any calls if you want to talk further about partnership or some ways that we can collaborate together. It is always available. So if there are any questions, I just want to say thank you again for your time.
I have a question.
Yes.
Just to clarify, your services are not for Santa Clara County residents?
They are. They're for all counties.
Okay. And does that include the Job Train Nova for youth services?
So only the youth, that's a great question. So just to clarify, our youth program is only for residents in San Mateo County, Palo Alto, Mountain View, and Sunnyvale. That's the only one that's very specific, but
Okay.
everything else, all our trainings are available to everyone in the Bay Area.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Question.
Yes.
If a youth or a TAY youth would like to do this and they don't have their high school diploma, does that hinder?
No, we can definitely provide them with that support. We can definitely provide them creating a path for them to obtain their GED, and then they can, get the work experience of, being part of one of our trainings.
Lillian, it looks like there's another question in the chat box that is similar to Dolores' question, and that is, do you help people connecting people to work without a high school or GED? What are the qualifications required for your training?
So our trainings normally require for you to obtain a GED or a high school diploma. We do have students from a variety of backgrounds. Some of them have masters, some of them have degrees. If someone doesn't have that and they, we will provide them with the support because we have that partnership with 5 Keys. The only training that doesn't require a GED or a high school diploma is usually for CNA. And then Are there any other questions? Oh, someone, it looks like I have some private questions, so I'll try to address them. I got a private question saying, if it, do you support undocumented individuals? Also, do individuals need Indeed GED? And do you offer GED classes? So we do have a partnership with 5 Keys Charter. And so if someone's is needing GED to obtain their GED, we can definitely provide them that support. In regards to undocumented individuals, we are not gatekeepers. However, they will need to have the right documentation in order for us to fulfill our mission if they go through our trainings to help them find a job. So they'll need to have the right documentation in order to work. And then let's see, I have another question. I have a client that is interested in digital literacy, but he is a so Kevin, if you like, you're welcome to contact me and then we can talk more about your client to be able to provide him with the support. Sorry, I'm getting some private questions, so I want to make sure that I answer them, and then, you know, perhaps this is a question that someone else may have. Are homeless youth eligible for our training, our job transport? We can definitely talk about it. If your youth does qualify for our youth program, we can definitely provide them with that kind of support. It says, are people interested in help in applying for jobs and not training? So we do have an employment specialist that we can definitely provide them with support in order to be able to find jobs. So if anyone is needing just help in finding a job, we can definitely provide them that. We have an employment specialist in our Menlo Park and in our career centers. So you're welcome to please contact me, and then I would be happy to refer you to that person. And then, I don't know, is there any more questions, or how much of your population have backgrounds? So normally if someone has a background, depending on the case, usually the trainings that are more friendlier are usually the culinary and sometimes carpentry. It just depends on the circumstances. And of course we will work with the individual if for some reason they can talk about you know, we can try to provide them a supportive services referral to see if they can get their backgrounds expunged. And it just depends case by case, of course. It looks like Eugene has a question. I think Eugene? Okay. So again, our youth program, the age is 17 to 24. Our programs are 11 weeks short. So it's a really great investment. They're intense programs, but just imagine what 11 weeks will do for your future. And then are there wait lists for what's a turnaround time after an interested party applies? Are you referring to like if someone applies for our training? Sophia? Okay, so I'm going to try my best to answer the question. So the way it works is that if a person is interested in our trainings, what they'll need to do is go online to jobtrainworks.org. They will need to apply for, you know, do the online application. Then they need to click on the training of their interest. They will need to attend an info session, which are normally on Fridays at 9 a.m. And then after that, they will need to follow the steps to fulfill the requirements. So therefore, they're going to need to complete their online application, do an assessment appointment, which is 9th grade level reading and math comprehension. Everybody needs to take that. Sometimes we have individuals who say, oh, I have a degree, or I've done college credit units. It doesn't matter. Everyone's going to need to take that. And then they'll need to provide the documentation that is needed, and then they'll have an opportunity to go to the orientation that's specific to the training of their interest, and then they can continue on with their training. I do want to make sure it is important that they fulfill these steps, because if they do, they will not. If they don't, they will not be able to proceed forward. The other thing is, let's see, what are the wait? So there's no. I mean, depends. It's really hard for me to say that there's a wait list because it depends on all the, you know, individuals, if they do all the steps and then how well they do on their assessment. So it really depends on individual basis. What time are our classes? Our classes are normally from 8 to 3:30 in the 3:30 in the afternoon. Currently, we have been able to do hybrid programs. So for example, for CNA, MA, and culinary, they do kind of like a hybrid program. So they'll do partial online, and then whatever needs to be done, we'll do it in person with taking safety measures of making sure that everyone's protected. IT is 100% online, so they can do it from the comfort of their home. So it's really great. And then in regards to, let me see. Oh, in regards to undocumented. So like I mentioned earlier, we're not really gatekeepers of that, but you know, they need to provide the documentation in order to have the right to work here in the US, because our mission is to provide you with the training and then fulfill our mission to making sure that we place you in a job. Otherwise, they won't be able to get the full support that we normally would provide them. And then it looks like I still haven't answered a question for Eugene about question regarding homeless youth. So if your youth qualifies for our youth program, we can definitely try to provide them the support they'll need in order to be successful. So if you want to talk more about it, please feel free to contact me and I'd be happy to answer further questions. I hope I answered all the questions. I love these questions and I want to make sure that everybody gets addressed, but please, if I didn't have a chance to answer your questions, feel free to contact me. I have placed my information. I will go ahead and do it again. And says, okay, do folks need to apply or register online to use other services? So yes, please, if it depends on the service that you're needing, but if, you know, please go to our website. If there's a service that you feel like you're not sure how to do it, contact me and I will guide you through it, or I'll help you get connected. And I will place my information again. And so I want to make sure that I'm fair to everyone's time, but then answer your question at the same time. So I just want to say thank you so much for this opportunity as well.
Thank you so much, Lillian. That was an awesome presentation. I think it's an amazing resource. And so we're very happy to have heard from you. And next up, we have Habitat for Humanity. Alessandra, are you ready?
I am ready, and I have to apologize. I have the sun shining right through the window behind me.
Oh, that's
okay. You see me all weird, but the light is like I have a halo. Anyway, let me share my screen. And all right, you can see my presentation.
Yep. You're all good.
Awesome. All right. So again, my name is Alessandra, and I'm a HUD certified housing counselor at Habitat for Humanity East Bay, Silicon Valley. And I really want to thank you all for giving me an opportunity to talk about our services. So we are a nonprofit, and our vision is a world where everyone has a decent place to live. And we work to build strength, stability, self-reliance, and shelter. Now, Habitat serves people in Alameda, Contra Costa, and Santa Clara counties through 3 programs. We offer a homeownership program that provides affordable housing opportunities to qualifying households earning up to 120% of the area median income. We used to only go to 80%, but we've just expanded it to go up to 120%. We are a HUD-approved housing counseling agency, and as such, we offer a housing counseling program that includes one-on-one counseling as well as financial and homebuyer education. And then we also offer owner-occupied home repair services. Our home preservation program provides grants and low-interest loans for low-income homeowners throughout our service area. Today, I'm going to focus on the homeownership and the housing counseling program. So Habitat builds new homes and renovates existing homes, and then we sell them at below market rate prices. Our homeownership program provides simple, decent, and affordable housing, and includes an owner occupancy requirement as well as a resale restriction on the home. Habitat homeowners purchase their homes at an affordable mortgage, and as a result, they have stable monthly payments and are able to escape the anxiety of constant rent hikes. And they also receive financial counseling to ensure that they're prepared for successful homeownership. Now, their Habitat homeowners are selected on 3 basic criteria: ability to pay, need for housing, and willingness to partner. So for ability to pay, we look for things like income and credit to make sure that they can afford the mortgage loan. And then when we're selecting buyers, we also consider their need for housing, like housing stability and current living situations. For example, how stable is their current housing? You know, maybe they're living in a Section 8 or temporary housing, or living with other families or with other households. Is there overcrowding? Is the home safe? Are they housing cost burdened? Meaning, is too much of their gross income going towards paying for rent and utilities? So need for housing includes encompasses many, not just the obvious, but many other things that may not be as obvious. And lastly, we look for willingness to partner with Habitat. So this is at the core of our program, and selected households have to contribute sweat equity hours towards the construction of their home, but just not their home, the homes of their neighbors. So they would work on the construction site and work just on both their homes and the homes of their neighbors. And then during the sweat equity period, we require that they meet a savings plan designed to help them save for the closing costs, because there's no down payment required for our program, but they do have to cover closing costs. And so we require them to, and this is where housing counselors kind of step in to help them create a savings plan to make sure that they do have those closing costs available when needed, and then also prepare for higher housing cost payments if they will increase when they buy the home. Now, our HUD-approved housing counseling program works to help people develop personalized financial management tools that allow them to achieve their unique financial and housing goals. So again, our housing counselors are all HUD certified. This means that they've completed extensive training and passed the HUD Housing Counseling Certification exam. Our services include one-on-one counseling, financial education, and we also offer the HUD-approved first-time homebuyer class. So one-on-one counseling services offer free individualized guidance from one of our housing counselors. Our only cost is a one-time small fee if they would like us to pull and review their credit report. So if they're looking for help with credit building or credit rebuilding, then there's a small cost. Now, there's no income requirements. Anybody can enroll in counseling. And they don't have to apply for a program to enroll in housing counseling. Our counselors work closely with clients to understand their current financial situation. We listen to any financial anxiety, and then help them develop a personalized plan to help them take control over their finances. Our financial management counseling includes help with creating a sustainable household budget, setting financial goals based on their client's specific needs and financial situation, and also learning savings and debt management strategies. Through an in-depth credit report review for those clients who would like that, so you don't have to do credit report review, but for those who would like to, we can teach them clients how to understand their credit report and what they can do to improve their credit score or repair their credit, or even build their credit if they're just starting out. And for those clients whose goal is buying their first home, we offer pre-purchase counseling to help them understand how the home buying process works, and also help them understand what they can do to become financially ready to purchase a home, and help guide them through that process. Now, if assistance is needed beyond what our housing counseling services can provide, then we have a list of resources of programs and services that we refer clients to for additional or more specialized help, all those wonderful programs that you all offer. Through our financial education services, we offer in-person workshops as well as live and recorded webinars. Now, the financial education topics we offer focus on the unique needs of people ages 15 and up. Now, of course, the in-person workshops are not available right now due to the pandemic, but when it's safe to do so, we are planning to start offering them again. Now, our workshops and webinars are free. They're open to the public. And we also work with agencies and nonprofits and offer them directly to their clients. So if you're interested in workshops for your clients, feel free to reach out to me. Now, our ages 25 and up include topics like budgeting, setting smart goals, saving for the future, managing debt, credit reports and credit scores, protecting from ID theft, and path to homeownership. And then our young adult series is designed for high school and college students, and the topics center around the building blocks of financial literacy, and they cover information including planning for the cost of college, understanding financial aid and student loans, managing student loan debt, loans and banking basics, and mastering healthy financial habits. Now, Habitat East Bay Silicon Valley stands even more committed than ever to serving our community during these uncertain times. So to expand access to our housing and financial counseling program, we're really excited to announce the launch of our brand new financial education center. Now, the Financial Education Center is a free online financial education resource that helps individuals build financial health and confidence for themselves and their families. It's an interactive financial education platform that features a robust library of resources and interactive playlists that focus on topics such as budgeting, home buying, retirement planning, and more. And users can also create a personalized playlist that's tailored to their unique financial goals and priorities. Now, the Financial Education Center, again, is free. It can be accessed anytime, anywhere, 24/7. It's tablet and mobile friendly, and it's also available in Spanish. That the in-person first-time homebuyer class prepares and educates people to navigate the housing market. Now, the 8-hour course breaks down the home buying process and then teaches how to avoid predatory lending and how to prepare for successful homeownership. This class, because we're a HUD-approved housing counseling agency, does meet the HUD requirements for obtaining a certificate of attendance, which may be required when participating in various below market rate and down payment assistance home buyer programs or loans. Now, due to the pandemic, we're not offering this class in person. However, we are now offering, just as of this month, the virtual version of this class. And we divided this 8-hour class into 4 2-hour sessions through Zoom. We've also partnered with eHome America to offer their online home buyer education course that people can take on their own time and at their own pace. And this course is available in English and Spanish, and anybody interested can sign up through our website. Now, for people who complete the eHome online course and need to obtain the certificate of completion, they do have to complete also a one-on-one counseling session to be able to get that certificate of completion with a housing counselor. And we do provide that session free of charge for anybody who completes that course and needs to get that certificate. So they would just, once they complete that course, they would just get in touch with us, and then we would schedule that appointment. Now, these classes do include a fee. There's a cost for these classes. For our class, the virtual class we offer is $45 per person. The eHome America is $99 per person. But for our virtual class, that $45, we also offer a discounted rate to people whose household income is below 80% of the AMI. And I don't think there's a discount for the eHome America course. So that's in a nutshell what we offer. This is our contact information or our website. I did put in the chat box. I apologize, I don't have my contact information here on the PowerPoint, but I put it on the chat box, and I'm sure, I think Alexis or is going to send out an email later with contact information anyways, I think.
Yes, I will. And you
Yeah.
can put it in the chat box right now as well, so people can write it down, but I will send it out in the email too.
Yeah, so if anybody has any questions, I'm happy to answer them. If you can't think of any right now, feel free to email me directly.
Alessandra, it looks like there's one in the chat box from Sophie.
Yeah, did you say you assist the clients with the possibility to set up payment plans for those workshop services? So this payment plan, I'm sorry, Sophie, I'm not sure I'm understanding the question. We don't, so our services are free. What we do is in one-on-one counseling, and I apologize if I'm not answering your question, but I'm one-on-one counseling, we do offer help in kind of, just managing their finances. So if they are struggling to keep up with their bills, then we help them create a budget that can help them stay on top of their bills and expenses. I'm not sure I'm answering your question though. So if I'm not, okay, yes. So yeah, so we create a plan. So what the way it would work is the very first appointment, we sit down, we go over what their financial anxieties are, what their goals are, and then we first thing we do, we work on a household budget, and then we create an action plan. So we take their larger goal. And then we divide it into smaller steps, because the larger goal can oftentimes, or most of the time, seems really overwhelming. So if they, for instance, have a lot of debt that they need to pay off and they're overburdened, it just seems so overwhelming. So we help them break it down into smaller steps. And so we'll create an action plan with the first steps they can take towards that goal. Then we meet again a month or a couple months later, depending on the situation, and we go over, did you complete those action steps? If not, why not? And then kind of create the next action plan for the next steps, and then help them throughout the process. We do follow-ups. So we stick with them. We don't just meet with them once and then you're on your own. It's as long as they want to keep working with us, we work with them, and we've had great success with people really paying off debt, becoming debt-free, completely repairing their credit, building their savings, gaining control over their finances. So, of course, they have to want to commit to it, because we can't do it if they don't. But if they are committed to sticking to the working on it, then there's always, we always get great success. And like I said, it's available to anybody. So if you have any clients who are struggling, they can absolutely, reach out to me. I mean, we're all in Santa Clara County. We do have a housing counselor in the East Bay, but I'm assuming most of your clients would want to stay in the South Bay. So I work out of the Milpitas office normally. Now all of our appointments are through Microsoft Teams, so we do video appointments. So we've been able to bring them virtual. And then when we are able to meet again in person, they would have that opportunity to also come and meet with me in person at our Milpitas office if they chose to do that. And yeah, and all your resources are awesome because again, we can't provide all the help. So having the resources to be able to refer them for maybe legal aid or housing or, any of the resources, great resources y'all offer are really, really important for us as counselors to be able to refer people to.
Awesome. Are there any other questions for Alessandra? No.
And I wanted to also kind of quickly mention that our Financial Education Center, It does, so if you have a financial education component to your program, maybe goals your clients have to meet, we do have a way of tracking to make sure that they're completing certain modules, certain playlists. So if any of you have a financial education component to your programs and goals for your clients that you would like your clients to meet, we are, talk to me about it. I can explain to you better how that works, but we can let you know, if they've met the goals that you set them to meet for financial education.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Alessandra. And I can say I have personally had her come and do workshops for some of my team members in Palo Alto pre-COVID, and they're awesome workshops. They're set up very well. The information is very well received by unhoused and those at risk of homelessness, and those that aren't as well. So it's great services you guys offer. So thank you so much for your presentation, and thank you to everyone for all of your presentations today. We heard a lot of great resources. And so next up, quickly, we have just a few minutes left for our open communication section. This is resource sharing and open updates forum. If any New Year 2021 updates, any COVID updates, any successes, challenges, or networking and problem solving you want to do in these next couple minutes, the floor is open. You can just blurt it out. You can raise your hand, put it in the chat box, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, this is Mary at Heart and Home, and I have a problem solving. I have a participant in our homeless shelter who is seeking to get her car repaired, and it's probably going to be a little bit expensive because it's going to be electrical work. Does anybody know a good resource for that, like for fundraising for that, or for a good mechanic that could help repair car electrical problems? I think it's a Toyota.
Mary, is she a single mother? Because if so, there's a great resource they help pay for car repairs for single mothers in Santa Clara County.
I don't know if she's a mother or not.
Okay. Well, if she is, we can connect about that resource. If not, I don't have any other resources that might be able to help, unfortunately.
Thanks.
Alexis, would you actually be able to share that resource?
Yeah, of course. They're called maintenance. I'm typing in the chat box now. Maintenance for Moms. Yeah, Maintenance for Moms is actually going to present at some point. I've connected with Lacey, someone who is a staff member at Maintenance for Moms, and they'll present at some point. I'm not sure when yet, but they were very interested. Lacey was actually on December's meeting. I don't see her here today, but they're a really cool resource. They're able to provide some financial assistance for car repairs for single mothers in Santa Clara County. Maintenance for Moms, and their website's really easy to use, and I'm sure Lacey is also on the SPN email list, so you can just send an email blast out too, and I'm sure she's happy to connect with you directly.
Awesome, thank you.
Cool, Mary. It looks like Sophie put a chat box about Peninsula Family Services. They might be able to help.
Thanks for those links, you guys.
Anyone else? Any updates? Any challenges? Anything they want to share with the group? We only have about a minute left, so. If not, then it looks like that's going to conclude this meeting. Keep in mind that you can always use the SPN email list to send out any updates, any challenges, anything. We're all, in addition to all of us on this call, there's a ton of other people on the SPN email list, as you, I'm sure, have noticed. So the idea is to use it as, you know, just reach out to people. If you have something, if you have a question about clients or whatever resources, send it to the SPN group, and we're all here for each other. So
I just want to say something really quick. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Alexis. I will be sending out a flyer. I've had a lot of people ask me if I can send them a flyer. So I'll send out a flyer for everyone to share. I may have to do it in 2 different emails because I don't know, for some reason our flyers are too large, but I will send flyers out. And if for some reason anyone has any questions, you can also look me up on LinkedIn, and I'm happy to connect with you in that way if you have any specific questions. Sorry. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you all so much. I will be sending out an email with all of the flyers from the presentation. So Lilium, if you want to send those flyers to me directly as well, I will, if I can include them in the email, I will do so.